7 Dark Facts About the Princess Diana Tragedy Part 5. So I want to talk about this dude Richard Tomlinson some more because he was an ex-MI6 agent that went to court and said that they killed Diana. So he was Cambridge educated and joined MI6 in the late 80s, specializing in intelligence operations mainly in Eastern Europe and the Balkans during the Yugoslav Wars. And during that time he claims to have seen an assassination plan for the president of Serbia at the time that resembled exactly like Diana's. The plan involved staging a car crash using a strobe light to blind the driver. And it also needed to be done in a tunnel because the car would be close enough to the pillars going fast enough that it would cause enough damage. And there's less likely to be witnesses. And when he saw that plan, it was for Slobodan Milosevic, which was the president of Serbia at the time, but he thinks that they recycled it and used it on Diana. And he also claims to have seen the file of Henri Paul, the driver of Diana's car that night. Apparently he was an informant for MI6 for over 10 years. The crazy thing is this actually lines up with two different eyewitness accounts of people that were in the tunnel when the crash happened. The first eyewitness was Francois Leviste and his wife. They were directly behind Diana's car and they said they saw a motorcycle come up next to it, and then there was a bright flash and then the car crashed. And he said one of the motorcycles slowed down and did a hand motion almost like mission accomplished. And behind that car was a taxi with an American named Brian Anderson. And he said one of the motorcycles swerved as it tried to pull alongside the back windows of the Mercedes. I remember at this point saying to the taxi driver, "This guy's effing crazy." The bikes were in a cluster like a swarm around their Mercedes. He described seeing a bright light in the tunnel just a fraction of a second before hearing the crash. But the courts basically ignored everything he said, saying he was a disgruntled ex-employee. So it's basically his word over MI6's word, and those two eyewitnesses. And also the photographer that was taking pictures of Diana all the way up until her death basically, and may have been in that Fiat that either bumped into Diana's car or they bumped into it. There's both stories, but he was found in a burning BMW with a hole in the side of his head, and they claimed that he took his own life. And before he died, he was bragging to friends that he had some photos of the crash that night that were explosive if they ever became public. And remember, the press was actually blamed for Diana's death, but they were eventually cleared by the courts, and that's when he tried to sell those photos that he was talking about. But he was taken out before he could ever do that.